Okay, this is a product review, but I have to explain how I came to be interested in this particular product. Anyone who follows me on social media knows that for the past few months I've been obsessed with fountain pens. This is my latest, my Monteverdi Ritma. Has nothing directly to do with the product that I'm going to be talking about today. But what has happened is I've always been a doodler. I have always been, someone who would draw pictures or, write crazy stuff, um, uh, kind of distract myself while I'm in a meeting. Um, but then it wasn't until I started taking up with fountain pens that I took that seriously. And since that time, I've done a number of drawings. I gave one to a family member as a Christmas gift. I had one published in the newspaper where I used to work. It's become something that I'm actually pursuing. I don't claim to be that good at it yet, but it's something that I'm pursuing and trying to get better at. Well, anyway, I'm continuing to sort of doodle. In fact, I'm in some ways doodling even more than I used to. And so sometimes I'll doodle on scrap paper. Sometimes I'll have some sort of little notebook or journal or something with me. But in the past, before I developed my fountain pen obsession, I would sometimes see these tablets that you can draw on or write on or take notes on. And they're usually very fancy, very expensive. And they've got handwriting recognition capability, and they sync up with your computer so you can take notes in a meeting, and then, you know, bam, it's on your desktop as a text file. Um, which is kind of neat, I guess, but they were all like more than I thought I wanted to spend for something like that. Well, I'd happened to see a couple of things online about this. This is a Boogie board. It is very inexpensive. It does not sync with anything. If you want to save what's on it, you have to take a picture of what's on it. But it's got kind of an interesting liquid crystal technology, and you draw things on it and then erase them. Um, and it just sort of seemed like a fun thing and something that I could kind of doodle with without wasting a lot of paper or take quick notes with. Uh, as I showed you a moment ago, you can push the button to erase the whole thing. There's also a selective erase feature where you can hold down on this button and use the back of the pen just like a pencil eraser, and it gets rid of some of it. And so, as you can see, the writing shows up as green. Now there is a black background, but that's actually the result of the sheet that's behind it, which can easily be removed, and it comes with several different ones. There's a grid. This one is a grid or line for line note taking. The black one has dots on the back. So whatever background you want, you just simply put the paper in with that background showing. Or, especially if you have the larger model of this, you could even put in a document or something you want to trace in there, and you can see through to the oops, wrong end. You can see through it to whatever it is you're tracing. And it's kind of a neat little product. It really is. Again, it's Boogie board. This model is the Blackboard Note. There's also a Blackboard Letter, which is 8.5 by 11. And long story short, I've got one of those coming too. But it's really, when you compare it to the $200 or $300 tablets that do all the whiz-bang stuff. This has a list price of $35, but in my limited experience, it seems to be fairly easy to wait for a sale or find a coupon code, and so you should not have to pay necessarily $35 for it. The 8.5 by 11 is $45. But again, same difference. I actually think I ended up paying less for the 8.5 by 11 that I have ordered than I did for the little one that's here. They have a variety of products. This is the Blackboard Note. They have a variety of products. They have a lot of sort of children's products that use this same technology. If you have kids that like to draw, they even have, with the backgrounds, they even have like one that's designed to teach the kid simple art, and so it's got a different backgrounds that you slide in there for the child to trace. They have one that has magnets on the back that is meant to be stuck to the refrigerator as a sort of a family message center. The pen sticks magnetically to the bottom of the pad there, so it sort of makes it easy to keep them together. It also comes with this little easel, they call, which there we go. Makes it easier to kind of stand the thing up on a desk or something. Another neat thing about this is that you never have to charge it. You never have to plug it in. It runs on a little wafer battery, one of those that's about kind of the size and shape of a quarter or a nickel or something, and that's supposed to last 5 years. There is no on-off switch. The thing is basically always on. It's ready anytime you're ready to use it. As I say, this does not save anything, and it does not sync to your computer. There is an app that assists you with the process of taking a picture of it. If there's something on there, a phone number or something that you really want to save, then you pull out your phone and you call up that app, and it helps you frame it so that even if you're shooting it at a little bit of an angle, it corrects it and squares it up, and you can save it on your phone. But that requires, again, manually taking a picture of it. They also have more expensive packages that have what's called a carbon copy pen. And I'm not clear on whether they make the carbon copy pen or whether it's a third-party product that just works well with their product. But the carbon copy pen is one of those pens with a motion sensor, so that it knows what you're writing based on the motion of the pen, and the carbon copy pen does sync up with your computer and does create a record on your computer of what you've written or phone. And they sell that separately. They also sell it as packages where you can get one of these tablets and the pen. But I just thought it was a really kind of a little neat little gadget, and it's going to be fun to sort of be able to doodle with this. I may even start leaving it on my bedside. A lot of times I will think of something, if I'm working on a creative project or something like that, I will think of something right after I lay down in bed. And this would be a very easy way to just make notes of something while I'm laying there in bed after I've turned all my other technology off. Again, it's the parent company is Kent Displays. They're out of Ohio, and that's another neat thing about the product, is that it is an American-made product. They actually make the liquid crystal screen in Ohio, not in the Far East as so many other electronics are made, which I think is kind of a neat thing. But it's all the brand name for all their products is Boogie Board. But then within that Boogie Board brand name, they have different makes and models. Again, this is the Boogie. This is the Blackboard Note, and then they have the Blackboard Letter, which is the 8.5 by 11. And you can even for coaches, I think they make an 8.5 by 11 where some of the little backgrounds are things like a basketball court or things like that. Um, um, that they have a model I think that is specifically for coaches to use as a little sideline whiteboard. Um, so anyway, that is the Boogie Board Blackboard Note, and it's my new toy. It was an indulgence. I probably don't need it, but I thought it was kind of a fun thing, and it'll be fun to kind of maybe sketch out some ideas before I actually pull out the fountain pen and commit them to paper. So anyway, that's my review.